This week is Cervical Cancer Prevention Week, and the most important thing you can do is go and have your cervical screening. This is what we sometimes refer to as a smear test. Now, women in the UK are invited for smear tests between the ages of 25 and 64, and now they are done every 5 years. What they're looking for is HPV, human papillomavirus, and the reason they look for this is because 99.7% of all cervical cancer is caused by this virus. HPV is actually very common, and many women will have been exposed to this during their lifetime. Usually they'll clear the infection within 2 years. The problem comes if that HPV hangs around on the cervix for longer, and there are some high-risk types of HPV which can be particularly problematic. Now, if your smear test shows that you have got HPV, it will be reported as HPV detected. Now, if your smear test does detect HPV, what would happen next is that test would be looked at in more detail under a microscope, and the cells themselves will be studied to see if there have been any changes that have occurred already. Reassuringly, because the screening program is so robust, even if early changes have been identified, they're usually found at a treatable stage. The cervical cancer vaccine was introduced in the UK in 2008, and initially at that time it was offered to girls between the age of 12 and 13, so these women are about 30 years old now. The HPV vaccine has been very effective at reducing the amount of HPV infections which women have. But we must remember that women over the age of 30 now weren't given that vaccine, so there is this group of women who are still at risk of getting HPV and also should continue to have regular smear tests. Some women feel concerned or worried about what a smear test will feel like. It is okay to ask for a small speculum if it feels uncomfortable, and particularly for menopausal women, if you've got significant vaginal dryness, we can often give vaginal estrogen, for example, for a short time before you go to have your smear test done, just to make it more comfortable.